getting rough, and I stop believing I'm not tough enough to be free. I just go on with you. That's when we know. That's when we go. When it's just us hunting.
We have a viewer, Just Us Hunting viewer, that sent in his footage. Steve Marshankowicz from southwestern Ontario did a fantastic job this year filming himself. He did a great job on the hunt, ended up putting down a beautiful buck. Why don't you grab a coffee, sit down, and enjoy this segment of Just Us Hunting.
Sitting in a small 14-acre parcel of woods here. Sits between a picked wheat field and a ravine. So far this morning I've had 2 bucks, 4 does come in. It's almost 11 o'clock. Haven't seen any more deer since that last group come through. I don't know if the big buck moved through here or not. He was coming right into that tagged doe estrus. And like I said, I came into the woods a little further than I normally do. He got downwind of me and game over. Another 10, 15 yards back that way. And all those deer this morning that were coming this way could have passed right through. The only chance I've got of shooting a deer in here this morning is going to be if they come from that way. The wind is coming from the ravine right straight towards me, blowing out that way, but they cut my trail where I walked in. That's a big doe too, big mature doe. At least they didn't snort at me.
You need some rest after that moose hunt. It really does burn you out. So usually when I come back, it's opening day or very close to the opening day of the deer season. And to be quite honest with you, I usually take a week or two to get caught up on my rest and whatnot. It's a hard go. So I don't have the option of waking up and getting an hour or 2 hunt in the morning, but I do get off work early in the afternoon because I start so early. Having spent most of my adult life in Northern Ontario, where 99% of the land up there is crown land, you can just step out your door and go hunting. When I moved down here, this private land stuff was a hard pill to swallow. I knocked on an awful lot of doors. Some people are not hunter friendly at all. This year I got permission on a brand new property, and a beautiful piece of property, really anxious to get in there. It hadn't been hunted for years. Well, once again we find us the weekend before, this time the final shotgun hunt of the year. We got a new piece of property to hunt on. It's a beautiful piece of bush. There's a lot of old sign here, but there's enough sign that's still promising as well. Anyhow, I come out here this morning and had a really nice doe, a big doe, just behind me here at about 20 yards. I was quite anxious. I thought it'd be a beautiful deer to put on the ground, but I got winded. I don't know if I got winded or not. It knew something was up. It didn't blow, it didn't stomp. It was very cautious, and then just stopped and retreated from whence it came.
I kind of figured they were bedded back down in that way, and this is where they would be coming through. So it's just a bad wind this morning, and there wasn't much of a wind at that. Anyhow, we're going to give her a shot tonight, and tomorrow morning. It's supposed to rain tomorrow afternoon, so we'll see how that turns out.
G'day everybody. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about broadheads, in particular sharp broadheads. In today's world of replaceable blades, expandable broadheads, titanium this, stainless steel that, there's still some of us old school boys that use a replaceable broadhead. These things here are phenomenal. They're tough, they're strong, they're time proven, and they are sharp, providing you do it yourself. What I have is a bunch of elastics here representing veins, arteries, and what have you. An artery will push out of the way if you allow it to. So here I have this shot once broadhead going through dead center. And you'll see absolutely nothing happened there. Not one broke. Now I have another broadhead, same style. I just took off my hunting quiver. It was very sharp at the beginning of the season. Let's see how it performs right now. There you have it. A sharp broadhead's a deadly broadhead. If you think it's just good enough, think again. And that is your Just Us Hunting Tip of the Week.
Tree stands and your setups are a very personal choice, right? And it has a lot to do with the weapon that you're using. If you're using a compound, your effective range generally is considerably longer than, say, if you're using a recurve or a longbow. It's a different sport altogether. And myself, I'm into the traditional end of it. I use a longbow right now, and I like to keep my effective range well under 20 yards. And I try to have my shot set up for 15 yards. Whereas if and when I was using a compound, 30 yards was not an issue. So, you know, depending on the equipment you're using and who you are and what your effective range is gonna dictate the setup that you have. So most of my deer stands, the shot's 15 yards. I think it was just a day or two before the shotgun hunt. And finally I have a couple deer come in. I got a young buck and a doe coming in. The buck offers me a shot. It's only 14 yards away maybe. I take a shot, I can't believe it. I missed. I don't miss often, and I couldn't believe I did it. And I thought, that's it. You know, the season hasn't been going great for me. I had this opportunity here to put a real tasty deer in the freezer, and lo and behold, that was the end of it.
Can you believe that? What a brain fart.
So I go home and I'm just, you know, you always want to blame your equipment or something because surely to God it's not me, right? I'm Rick. Yeah, well, guess what? The equipment was fine. I took a few shots at home. Everything was perfect. It's one of the things I don't know why I missed. So I put my pride behind me, got a good night's sleep, came out the next morning.
It's the morning of redemption. I missed that little buck last night. It's the last day before the shotgun hunt starts. If he comes in this morning, hopefully that doe comes in. I was here yesterday morning. That was a big doe. Big doe. Yeah, you know, this is our last morning before the shotgun hunt starts. We got another 15, 20 minutes before legal light. And I'll check my cameras there when I leave the bush today. Be done for another week. Then right back at her.
If you're hunting does, you're gonna look for trails. And these trails are in the bush. Myself, I don't like hunting the edge of fields. It's an effective way to hunt. A lot of people do it. I'd like to see a little more, God, I don't know, wildlife. You can sit over top of a field and look at corn all night long, or you can be in the bush. When you're in a field, you're gonna see a lot of animals. You're gonna see deer everywhere, but they're 150 yards away. And I'm not satisfied with that. If I see a deer, I want it to be within game distance. So If I'm set up inside the bush in more denser bush and I see a deer, chances are it's 30 yards or less. Guess what? It's game time, and there it is.
So I remember this one time last spring, I was hunting turkeys. I'd been hunting this mature tom all week with a great big beard that was dragging the ground. So I decided this one morning I was gonna camp out near his roost before first light, hopefully get him on the fly down. So I was waiting. Him and his two friends that were in his bachelor group were gobbling their heads off in the trees, and a weasel came along, and the weasel tried to attack the longbeard and almost got him, and the turkey flew away. And I thought, well, that's the end of my hunt for today because I've been busted by this weasel. Well, I managed to call the turkeys back. They competed strutting for a little while and didn't want to come in. But then eventually one of them decided he was going to make a break for it and try to get these hens, which were really just me. And the other two didn't like that, so they came barreling in, and I managed to harvest the mature tom. We got back to the house and started doing all the measurements for the M&R, and turned out he didn't just have one big long beard, he had 5 really long beards. So he ended up being the bird of a lifetime, record bird in Ontario, number 2, and that's a memory that I'm going to have for the rest of my life.
Because I'm in university, I don't get to go out for the fall deer hunt. I have to wait till Christmas. Luckily, Just Us Hunting viewer Steve Marsenkowitz sent in his video footage. Let's see how he makes out.
Snuck into a permanent stand I've got up. It's actually a portable stand that I've left up for at least 2 years now. I haven't sat it probably a year. Both Shane and myself haven't been seeing very many deer. So we suspect that they're in the corn. So I'm just on the edge of a standing cornfield. It's early, it's about 2 o'clock, 2:30. Time will tell. Just had a small buck come through the corn. Along the edge, make a scrape. Then he carried on, so I'm gonna sit a few more minutes, see if something else comes through. It's Friday the 13th, November. I got in nice and early. Got caught about 40 yards from the tree stand. I could hear deer off to my right. So I ended up freezing for half an hour, just standing there. I got grunted at 2 or 3 times. It's early. It's just a little after 7:30. So I'll keep sitting and see what happens. Meh. Meh. I'm gonna give him a few minutes. I love it, man. There's my arrow. There he is. Yes. Nice. That's a unique rack. Been doing a lot of rubbing. Bladed. Even the tips are bladed. They almost touch. Put that back in. Nice. Well, let's get the four-wheeler, get him out of here.
I just recently started hunting. I've been doing it now for about a year. My weapon of choice is a 12-gauge shotgun and the crossbow. I like to hunt whitetail deer and turkey, and in the future plan to hunt moose, black bear, and coyote for starters, and possibly get into some of the birds as well. I have successfully taken nothing, but I hope to change that coming up this spring with my turkey hunt. In the off season, I like to prepare for the upcoming season by practicing my turkey call, my deer call, as well as target practicing crossbow on the bag target or clay targets for the shotgun. My dream hunt would be to go to the Yukon and shoot mountain goat or sheep. There's always been a certain mystique that these animals have intrigued me by, as well as the landscape would be amazing to take in. The person who inspired me the most to get into hunting would be my girlfriend Erica. She's the one who truly encouraged me to go get my hunting license, as well as showed me the other side of hunting, the friendship and camaraderie that it brings with it. Spending time in nature is also a great part of hunting that I truly enjoy. I'm Corey Kerwin, and this is my profile.
I'm not a trophy hunter by any means. Doesn't matter if it's moose, bear, deer. Size means nothing for me. I don't care about rack size. So I'm just as happy to shoot a doe as I am a buck. And if I'm sitting in the bush and I'm hunting a trail, I'm targeting does. If a buck comes by, that's a bonus for myself. Later on in the year, when the rut starts going on and you're going to set up a tree stand, you're setting up on different techniques. You're going to look for rub lines, you're going to look for scrape lines, you're going to look for buck activity, and you're going to set up accordingly. For not having seen too many deer prior to that, the deer were moving fantastic that night. I had 3 deer come by me in the morning before sunup. I thought, wow, this is going to be great. It's going to be a nonstop parade of deer, and at least that's what you like to think. But shortly after that, it was only a few minutes into daylight, I had this nice young doe come walking by, and it offered me a shot. It was a beautiful shot. I took it, and it actually went down within sight.
Now that is what you call redemption. That's the 3rd deer I had come by me this morning already, and it's 7:30. The first one came by at 7, pitch black. The second one came by, was 7:15. It was legal shooting time. I could have shot it, but the camera couldn't pick it up. It was still too dark, not enough light for the camera. And then this one here come back. It could be one of the first ones that came by. Came back from behind me. And I had a small little shooting lane clear behind me here, and that's where it came walking through. So it's down. It's right over there. I can see it from here. These brown leaves can be a real bugger when tracking a deer if you have a sparse blood trail. But as you can see here, blood's not a problem today. Here, bounced off the tree there. And all it did was come around, and there it is. Well, I just went back and picked up the truck and brought it back out in the field here. Changed my clothes. I'll go back in, drag her out, skin her up, get her back home hung up, and we'll have her cut up and in a freezer by tomorrow. So, time to do a little bit of work.
But not a huge deer, tasty deer, perfect for the freezer, and it was a great way to end this hunt. And for some reason, it's always the day before the shotgun hunt that I seem to tag out, whether it's the first hunt or the second hunt. And this was the day before the shotgun hunt. So yeah, I had a good time.
If you have videos of your hunts and would like to see them right here on this show, go to our website, justushunting.com, and email me directly. Who knows? Maybe one day you'd see your hunt right here on Just Us Hunting.
Well, I feel alone and I can't see why. And the cold winds blowing from the northern sky. I dream of going hunting. When life's road starts getting rough, and I stop believing I'm not tough enough to be free.